Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to go back to a country I've not been to for quite a while, and that country is Norway, and take a look at one of their Norwegian Arctic field rations. Now this particular one is lamb with rice and lentils, so let's get this on a table and see what this pack contains. And as you can see, I now have here on the table this Norwegian Arctic field ration. This particular one is their menu 10, and it is lamb with rice and lentils. I think this is now the last menu that I've got to try, and I've tried them all. As always, come in a nice little square plastic sealed bag, usually peelable on the corner. They don't have a peelable corner, so we shall get hold of that and give it a pull. Nice and easy to open. So let's move that to one side, and straight off the bat, what does this Norwegian Arctic field ration actually contain? So straight off the bat, we have a cranberry protein bar with 28% protein, so quite a high protein content there. We have a bar of dark chocolate with 60% cocoa. We have the main meal itself, which is dehydrated, obviously being an Arctic field ration, and it is the lamb with rice and lentils. We have the reasonably strong but not overly plastic spoon. We have a Poldermill Colombian freeze-dried coffee, a anti-disinfectant wipe, or a disinfectant wipe. We have some spearmint gum, trying to keep it all nice and neat. We also have, first I've tried these, some tortillas. Interesting to see if they're the same as the US tortillas. First time I've had those in a Norwegian ration. And we have the real energy drink lemon. Last but not least, a little Ziploc bag for keeping any spares or taking away your rubbish or trash. So that is the contents of this menu 10 Norwegian Arctic field ration. So let's get these on a tray and see what they look and taste like. And so, as you can see, I now have here laid out on a tray the contents of this Norwegian Arctic field ration. So with this being the freeze-dried, I'm going to start by preparing the mains rather than the drinks. This is the lamb with rice and lentils, and has over 700 calories, so a nice large meal. Seen these many times before now. They're in a Mylar Ziploc bag, so we take open the top. Sometimes it's easy to open, sometimes a little bit more difficult. There's a little Ziploc bag, that's nice and easy. Huge meal. Huge meal. Just open the gusset on the bottom of the pack there. So using the spoon that came with it, I'm just going to have a stir. These don't usually come with an oxygen removing pad, like many other freeze-dried meals, but I'm just checking to make sure. No pad. So there is a fill line up to the black line with water, but I shall just fill over the top of the contents, because you can always add but you can't take away. So just fill it over the contents. I can always add a little bit more water if need be, and with the spoon that came with it, just work that water down to the bottom. Already I can tell that's far too dry. You can hear the crispies on the bottom. So I'm going to give that a bit more. That's way too dry. try and get right into the corner. Oh, that's good. That's about the third time that's happened to me. These spoons that come are useless, as you can see. Didn't even stir in the contents. So here comes the USMRE spoon. So I've had that happen about 3 or 4 times, I think, now, when I've just been stirring the ingredients together. They need to improve the spoons, obviously. I'm going to give that more water. Very, very absorbent. It's just soaking up those water I keep adding. So I'm just going to leave it there for a minute, seal it up, and give it its 8 minutes to do its thing. So while that's doing its thing, I'm going to move round and let's take a look at this Polder Mill coffee. Now again, I've had this many times before. I'm not a huge fan. I find it very middle of the road, average sort of coffee, especially with no sugar, no whitener. So it is a medium coloured, large granule looking roast. I've gone and made a mess of my spoon, so as luck would have it, I have a good supply. I'm going to bring in another USMRE spoon just to make half a mug of coffee. A good coffee, a good instant should be able to make a full mug, but I always give it the benefit of the doubt, make half, so at least there's a chance of being some strength there. And moving along to the wet energy drink, we have the energy drink with a taste of lemon. Again, I've had these quite a few times now. They tend to be very sticky and very clumpy, and they always mix better in the pouch, so I'm going to do the same again. There is a fill line, so fill to approximately halfway up the pouch. So as I've just said, I found from experience these real drinks, they're very sticky. I don't know if you can see, they're very sticky looking powder, and I found they tend to mix better in the pouch they come in. So I'm just going to try not to spill it everywhere. Okay, just put that on the table for a moment, seal that up, give it a couple of turns to hopefully avoid any disastrous accidents, and give that a good old mix in. Try and get all of those powders out of the pouch there. And we shall just pour that into a glass. I have one, so I shall use it. I don't think that's enough water, so I'm just going to give it a little bit more, about 1/2 to 3/4 of a glass. And we'll just give that a good mix. Moving on round, while we allow that to carry on warming through, we shall open the cranberry protein bar with 28% protein. So again, all these are made by the real company, and they're regulars in these Norwegian Arctic field rations. A very sticky bar. This one's sticking to that packet, so it's a crispy cereal style bar. We have a dark chocolate bar, 60% cocoa. So these are usually pretty good also. Let's just, now this ration is in date, so I wasn't expecting it to be bloomed, but it has bloomed quite badly. But as you know, that doesn't do anything to the actual chocolate itself. It's just the cocoa separated out from the bar. We have a spearmint gum. Again, I'm just going to bring in my little friend for that one. Two little briquettes. I should only have one. And this is something new to me in the Norwegian field ration. I thought it was just tortillas, but I was having a closer look. It's actually a filled tortilla with seasoned beef. I read down the ingredients and I thought, my word, what a lot of chemicals. Something you don't normally get from Norway. And then I happened to glance across and I find it's made in the US and it's been inspected by the Department of Agriculture, so it's probably had sprayed every agricultural chemical you can find, so it must be good, shelf stable. But it is first time I've tried one of these. I thought it was just a tortilla, not realising it was filled, so it's just like a sandwich. Very interesting. It is a tortilla, but it's filled with something. Never come across one of those before. Almost think I should probably have warmed that up. And we should just go back to the mains, give it another little stir. See how we're doing for water. That's very stodgy. I think we can get away with a little bit more water in there. Very, very dry. Get down into the corners. I'm going to even give it a little bit more than that. As I say, we can always keep adding. We can't take away. So it's much better to do less and build up than all dehydrated meals. So many times I've seen scrambled egg poured out of the pouches, swimming in yellow looking disgusting water, and you think, well, that's that ruined. So it's always best to be on the safe side. Don't go too mad initially. So while we just give that another couple of minutes, we shall go around and try some of the external or the outer components. So back to the Polder Mill black coffee. Doesn't change. Slightly bitter, not overly bitter. Would benefit from at least a sugar. There's no sugar. Whitener for myself would make it much better. But it is, as I remember, a store style, cheapish, middle of the road instant coffee. Not the absolute worst. I've had far worse, but I've also had far, far better in an instant in the ration. So it is. It's a taste of coffee, a coffee flavoured hot drink. Let's have a look at this lemon. Oh, this is lemon energy drink. Strong lemon flavour. In actual fact, that still could do with a little more. It's a strong lemon flavour, nice and sweet, a little bit of tartness, a little bit of that lemon zing. Again, there's nothing natural in there. I'm sure it's a citric acid that's giving it the zing, but that's better. It is a nice lemon flavoured, artificial lemon flavoured, sweet, refreshing energy drink. I'm intrigued. Well, I'll just give this meal a couple more minutes to have a look at this stuffed tortilla, filled tortilla. Never seen one of these before. Looks like just take a straight bite. I do think this would have been good warmed up. It is. It's got a tomato base. Very, very highly processed. It is a beef tomato with some herbs in there. They're just sweet. The tortilla is soft. I would say very much like a first strike, but actually it's better. I find the first strike the sandwiches, you don't get any sort of filling in them. They're very empty. This is quite packed. There is some chili kick. There's a cold meat sandwich, which is not actually that bad. Very sweet, slightly on a barbecue sort of sweet flavour, and a little bit of heat from the chili, but it is a tasty, relatively enjoyable pre-filled tortilla. And after the pre-filled sandwiches I've tried before, one of the better ones. Not something I deliberately buy in a store, but if I was hungry, certainly have no problem eating that. Refresh my palate. I think the main should be ready now. So this is lamb with rice and lentils. So as you can see, a very large portion. I'm going to bring in a bowl because I have and because I can, and it also helps with demonstration. Obviously normally you would eat straight out of the package. So again, the whole lot has fallen out. There's some crispiness still there. I think you could probably add a little bit more water even now, and I will. Still dry. That has absorbed a lot of water. Wow. The bowl is full to the top. Right to the top. It's reconstituted nicely. There was a little bit of powder on the bottom there, but that was my fault for not stirring it, not the meals. So, huge bowl of rice, lamb and lentils. So, can't really separate it. I should just go straight for a spoon of the meal. Slightly still under reconstituted. It's thick, it's stodgy, it's warming, it's comforting. There is a taste of lamb in the background. I can see carrot, I can see rice, I can see the lentils. Again, a little bit of background kick. Could be black pepper, but still extremely dry. It's really absorbing that moisture. Let's just give that a bit more water to make a sort of gravy in there. It's very dry, very thirst provoking. Okay, so again, now's a little bit more water, give it some more gravy. That's better. Warm, filling, comforting. Little bit of black, I suggest black pepper kick rather than chili kick, with the sufficient black pepper to give it a little bit of burn. Everything's now reconstituted nicely. No crispy crunchy bits. Certainly a stomach filler. You are going to know when you've eaten 700 calories of this warm, tasty, enjoyable dish. I am going to finish that as my early lunch, late breakfast, brunch, and I'm sure that will keep me going right down to my evening meal. So, let's try a little bit on the sandwich, just to give the sandwich a little bit of something warm. That's the way. The sandwich definitely would have been better warmed. Should go together well. This is certainly going to fill me for the day. Just what troops need on a cold Norwegian winter's training exercise. Lots of flavours, lots of tastiness going on. Let's keep moving on. I'm enjoying it. I'm tempted to eat the lot. So the cranberry energy bar or protein bar, it is soft, it bends rather than snaps. That's crispies and cranberries. Quite firm, chewy, sweet. There is some honey or some sweet syrup of some sort in there with the cranberries. Crispy, chewy, sweet, energy packed, tasty, enjoyable bar. Come round to the ballooned chocolate. Nice snap, dark chocolate, firm chocolate. Very firm. Once you've chewed it and you've broken it up, it starts to melt on your tongue. A nice, non-bitter, not overly sweet, not overly bitter, good quality, tasty, enjoyable chocolate. I'm not going to use the wet nap just now. I've seen that many times before. It is more of a surgical wipe with 70% alcohol. Very good cleaning, cleansing wipe. Just have a quick look at the spearmint gum. Just bite half of one of those. Good gum. Quite soft, crispy shell, plenty of mint oils. Certainly enough spearmint to refresh your palate after this reasonably spicy, enjoyable mains. So let's move that out. Overall, a very tasty, very filling, very stodgy, 700 calories, well over 1,000 calories with the other components. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.